Alright, listen up. I'm not here to sugarcoat this. And I'm not here to give you some fluffy nonsense. You're about to get hit with the truth that'll rattle your bones. And if you're serious about shifting your life, you better be ready to absorb it. Think of it like this. Life is like driving a car. If you've got no clear intent about where you're going, you'll just drift aimlessly, getting stuck in traffic, running out of gas, or worse, getting lost. But if you've got intent, and you're consciously steering your life, everything changes. You don't just take the wheel, you own it. It's a pure conscious purpose. No hesitation, no second guessing. You know where you're going. You can feel it in your gut. And you've got the drive to make it happen. You want to know why it's so powerful? Clarity. When you speak clearly, people get it. They don't have to guess what the hell you're talking about. They don't need to decode your words. You speak straight to the point. And that's when the real impact happens. Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads. And you need to give directions to someone who's lost. Would you make it complicated? Or would you say, turn left, go straight, then take the first right? Simple, direct. It's the same with how you talk to yourself and others. But here's the trick. Repetition. You keep hitting the button until the brain cracks open and realize it's time to pay attention. You don't tell yourself something once and expect it to stick. You keep hammering away. Ever heard the phrase, water wears away stone? That's the power of repetition. Every time you say something, it's like drilling a tiny hole into a rock. You keep doing it and eventually the floodgates open. Timing, on the other hand, timing is everything. You don't scream at someone the second they walk into the room. You wait. You let the tension build up. And when they're most receptive, that's when you strike. Think of it like setting up a surprise. You don't just shout surprise the second they walk in. No, you wait for the perfect moment when the defences are low, their guard is down. That is when they'll be most open to what you've got to say. Now let's talk about emotion. This is where most people fumble. You're used to speaking from fear, right? That nervous, shaky voice. Like you're afraid of what they'll think. Whether they'll judge you, laugh at you, or whatever. You've got to leave that behind. Speak from your heart. Because that is where the real power lies. You've got to feel it. When your words come from the truth of your heart, it hits people. It lands deep in their guts and stirs something within them. You don't make them afraid. You make them feel what's possible. But sometimes, people don't need direct language. Sometimes they need symbols, metaphors, coded messages. It's like this. You know how a piece of music can stir deep emotions without even saying a word? It's the same with symbols. When you speak metaphorically, you bypass the logical mind and you go straight to the subconscious. You can say, it's like trying to juggle 5 flaming torches while riding a unicycle. The brain doesn't need to analyse the specifics. It feels the pressure. It's like planting seeds in their mind without them even realising it. And then there's silence. That beautiful, dangerous thing. Pause between questions. Let them chew on what you just dropped in their lap. Ever notice how when someone asks you a question and they don't immediately respond, it forces you to think harder? That's because the silence is doing its work, opening space for your brain to process. Most people fill the silence, because they're scared of the awkwardness. But let it breathe. Let them sit with it. The silence is like the pressure before an explosion of realization. So how can I naturally do this? You already do it. You're doing it every single day without realizing it. Every time you get frustrated with someone not getting your point, or when you drop a one-liner and people stop in their tracks, those are the moments when you're doing it right. But it's inconsistent, right? Sometimes you do it the right way, other times you don't. Think about this. When you're in a heated argument and you hit them with a perfectly timed response, you see their reaction shift. They don't see it coming. That's you using intent, clarity, emotion and timing. You don't even need to speak for hours. Just that one impactful sentence. But you didn't do it consciously. That's the gap. Now you've got to turn that into your default. So how can you do it in new ways? Start paying attention. When you speak, ask yourself, am I coming from a place of pure intent? Or am I talking just to talk? When you speak with intent, you're being deliberate. You're not just speaking to fill the air. You've got a reason, a purpose behind it. Then think about the last time you were talking to someone and they just didn't get it. Was it because you didn't speak simply enough? Or did you use a ton of filler words that buried the gold in your message? Clean it up. Simplicity is king. And the next time you're standing in front of someone, waiting to make your point, pause. Just stop for a second. Let the silence sink in. Don't rush. It's not about getting the words out. It's about allowing them to land. Settle in. Why is this so important? Here's why. When you know how to pace and lead with these techniques, you can shift someone's beliefs, change their perspective, and rewire their reality. You can make them see things from your point of view and move them towards your desired outcome. Whether that's in a conversation, a business meeting, or even in your personal relationships. The consequences of not doing this, it's like being a passenger in your own life. You're letting other people, situations, and circumstances dictate your direction. You're walking around on autopilot wondering why things feel stagnant. You're not in control. You're just reacting to whatever life throws at you. When you start speaking with intent, when you're clear and direct, when you hit those emotional notes, when you use symbols to bypass the clutter, when you allow silence to work for you, you change the game. You go from passive observer to active creator. What's the science behind this? The brain loves patterns. Neurolinguistic programming and Ericksonian hypnosis, they work by tapping into how the brain processes language and emotion. When you repeat things enough, your brain, it starts to form new neural pathways. You're literally rewiring how your mind works. It's not magic, it's science. And when you hit them with the right timing, emotion, and symbols, you trigger deep, subconscious shifts. These aren't just surface level changes. This is brain chemistry in motion, neuroplasticity. You're changing someone's perception of reality. And when you change perception, you change action. So why are you afraid to do it? Here's the hard truth. You're afraid because you're not used to being that powerful. You're afraid of what people might think, how they might react. You're afraid they'll reject you. But here's the thing. Their reactions don't matter. They're a reflection of your own insecurities, not the truth. You can't control what they think, but you can control how you show up. That's the key. So stop giving a shit about what others think. You're the one in control of your reality, When you own your words, own your purpose, and own your power, you'll see the world around you respond differently. Now get ready to go out there and put this into action. Speak with intent, be clear, use emotion. And for the love of everything holy, pause when you need to. You've got everything inside you already. It's time to unlock it.